My name's Coop. I've been playing paintball for about 11 years now. You guys have met Zach, who's going to get his goggles now. He's been playing for about 9 years. And we also have Alex, who's out reffing the other group. You guys will meet him shortly. He's been playing paintball for about 5 or 6 years now. This safety briefing is to ensure that all new and returning players are familiar with the safety rules of paintball, along with R-14 Paintball specific rules. Safety equipment. There are 3 vital pieces of safety equipment that must all be used in conjunction in order to maintain a safe playing environment for you and your fellow paintballers. All of the rental paintball markers and most personally owned paintball markers have a safety button, switch, or lever, a mechanical device which is prone to failure. The barrel blocker is a necessary piece of safety equipment and that must be in use at all times whenever you are not actively playing. This includes between games, after you're eliminated, during the safety briefing, and while you're in the safety area. Ensure that the elastic cord is pulled tight and that the blocker is fully over the barrel. When off of your marker, keep your barrel blocker in an easy-to-access pocket so you can put it on after you're eliminated. Your full-face protective goggles are to be kept on your face at all times during play, even after you're eliminated. Do not remove them if they're foggy, covered in paint, or when you've been eliminated. Keep them on at all times whenever you are outside the safety area. Keep them on at the chronograph range. Keep them on whenever you are standing out of bounds waiting for the next game to start. Keep them on whenever you take your barrel cover off. Paintballs cannot tell the difference between in and out of bounds and can still hit you. If you find your goggles slipping down your face, you can pull the 2 black plastic buckles away from each other on the elastic strap behind the goggles. Make them as tight as possible without being too uncomfortable. If it's becoming difficult to see out of your goggles due to fogging, or if they're covered in paint splatter, there's water and paper towels in the back of the safety area. Between games, you can go and wipe off hits. The 3rd piece of safety equipment is your brain. Your brain is needed to ensure that whenever your goggles are off, your barrel blocker is on, and that whenever your barrel blocker is off, your goggles are on.
What if you don't have that 3rd piece? I have a son out here.
I think we rent them for $5
Friendly
each.
fire is allowed. Friendly fire is not friendly.
Drink plenty of fluids between games. We keep ice cold water in the safety area, though I think it's a little too cold for cold water. Drink plenty of fluids, keep your brain fully functioning to ensure the other 2 pieces of safety equipment are used properly. Any questions on safety equipment? Marker. Those of you renting equipment from us today have in front of you the Tippmann Model 98. While the design is 11 years old, it's built like a tank and still in production for a reason. It's a very solid, very reliable paint marker. However, there are several things you need to know about it. The bolt handle must be pulled back in order to fire. In the upper left-hand rear of the marker is the bolt handle. A lot of the guns I see out here look like Tippmann clones. They'll also have the same bolt handle in the top left. Just lock it back. Sometimes it won't go all the way forward, especially in the cold. Just lock it back. It should resume shooting. The red ring on the safety located above the trigger must be visible in order to fire. This means push the safety button from the right side with your trigger finger to turn the safety off, red ring visible, ready to fire, and push the safety button from the left side with your thumb to turn the safety on, no red ring, not ready to fire. The safety in conjunction with the barrel blocker will keep your gun safe. If no paint is coming out of the marker while shooting, shake the marker so paint feeds properly. Especially with the gravity feed hoppers, sometimes paint will bind up. Just give it a shake and you can resume shooting. If you drop paint while loading the marker, do not pick that paint up and use it again. Dirt, sand, and anything else picked up with the paint can damage the marker and could be harmful if shot at other players. If the bolt keeps bouncing, sounding like it's firing full auto, pull the bolt handle back as the marker is out of air and not firing anymore. All paintball markers must be chronographed at a velocity of 280 feet per second. For those of you that haven't played before, that's 190-ish miles an hour. Rental markers included. I have the tools necessary to adjust the velocity of the rental fleet, and those of you with your own equipment today are responsible for adjusting your own markers to the correct velocity.
You said 190?
It's 190 miles an hour, 280 feet per second.
Gotcha.
Assistance is available to anyone with their own marker. Any questions on markers?
We're going to need to check ours.
Gameplay. Please avoid bringing keys, cell phones, or other valuables out onto the playing field. They can get damaged or lost easily, especially in this sugar sand. It eats things. Ooh. Not good.
Dad! The wrapper came off.
Not good. Don't shoot them through my rental guns.
That's more.
All direct paintball hits anywhere, equipment included, count. Typically, if the splat is larger than a quarter, it counts as a definite hit and means you're out. Splatter coming off the side of a bunker or tree does not count. Bounces off the ground do not count, nor does kneeling on an unbroken paintball. If you feel a hit somewhere you cannot see, such as on the top of your head or on your back, run your hand over the spot and see if you got hit. If your hand comes back covered in paint, that means the paintball broke and you're eliminated. If you can't tell, such as if your hands are already covered in paint, ask a teammate to take a look. If the teammate says you're hit, then you're eliminated. Finally, if you can't tell and a teammate isn't available, call out paint check and have a referee take a look. The referee will declare you neutral by touching you with one arm and raising the other arm. A neutral player can't shoot or be shot. The ref will look where you tell them to and determine if you're hit or not. If you're not hit, the referee will sweep his arms back and forth, much like in baseball, declaring you safe. Once you're safe, you're no longer neutral and you can resume playing and getting shot at. Do not wipe the paint off and continue playing. It's unsportsmanlike and not fair to the person that successfully managed to get you. You wouldn't like it if somebody on the other team was wiping off your hits. It's cheating and it's not permitted, punishable by death. When you are eliminated, put both hands up in the air and shout out, 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 or hit, hit, hit as loud as you can.
Funny, I always remember that louder.
Keep your goggles on and quickly make your way towards the nearest out of bounds. The game is still going and you may get hit more if you take your time leaving the field. If you call yourself out or raise your hands to signal that you're out and determine that a paintball did not break on you, you're still out. Once you call out, whether the paintball broke or not, you're out. Referees will also call players out if they've been hit but didn't notice, such as on their goggles or gear. As it's not easy to shout through paintball masks under the noise called a shooting, a referee can physically demonstrate that a player is out by pointing at them and tapping their heads like so. When you see this, you know you're out. There are several ways to eliminate players without firing a single shot. Barrel tagging involves one player sneaking up so close to another player that they can physically touch the side of the barrel of the marker to the other player. This counts as an instant elimination. In fact, the player eliminated must quietly exit the field instead of shouting out to not alert any nearby teammates. This is known as a stealth elimination. Instead of popping up over a bunker and shooting everyone behind it at point-blank range, although that's sometimes fun, you may knock or bang on the bunker several times. This is known as the bunker rule. Everyone hiding behind that bunker is now eliminated. Easy way to remember it, the rule is also known as knock knock, you're dead. If you're within approximately 20 feet of an opposing player, you should ask for them to surrender rather than shooting at them, although sometimes it's fun. You should point your marker at them and shout surrender. That player may then elect to surrender by raising their hands and marker, or they may start shooting at you. Note that asking and accepting surrenders are optional. In my 10, 11 years of playing, I've never accepted a surrender. It's just not fun.
There's no point.
If someone behind you is asking you to surrender, they've got you in their sights, it may be wise to consider the surrender, as by the time you turn around to fire, they've probably already fired several shots. We normally play games in best-of-3 sets. You go to a field and one team will play from each end. After you're eliminated, make your way along the outside of the field and work your way to the opposite end. The next game will play with the teams on opposite ends. If a team wins twice, we'll play at a different field. If each team has won once, we'll play a third tiebreaker game with the teams back in their original starting positions. After a set of games, we'll return back to the safety area where you can get more paint, drink ice-cold water, clean off any hits, wipe down equipment, refill your pods, and prepare for the next set of games. Any questions on gameplay or eliminations? Okay, let's go ahead and chronograph the gun.